Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's Q&A time. I will answer your questions today, and that includes duty free and how can cabin crew make more money on board. I will tell you all the details that you want to know, so if you're interested, keep on watching, and if you're new with us, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, share the video if you like it, and let's start. I will start with the first question from Asala. When will they start hiring again? I mean, Emirates, we don't know. No one knows. But what I know is as soon as this virus is over and they will start flying again with a lot of customers and they need a lot of cabin crew, of course they will start hiring again. So as soon as all of this is over, they will start hiring again. Hopefully it will be soon because we're tired from all of this. We're tired. Okay, the second question is from 1CT, Mariam Barus. Are flight attendants allowed to have another side job like being a YouTuber or etc.? If they're allowed to have a second job, then no, it's a big no. If they know that you have a second job, then you will be fired immediately. It's against the law, and then you did something against the law, so obviously you will be fired if you do something else. And I spoke about that before. Even cooking and selling food or doing something like that is not legal. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know that as well before. But a YouTuber, it's weird. I don't know how to answer that because a lot of cabin crew are actually YouTubers, so for them it's not really a job as long as you're sharing information or sharing those layovers or something like that. But the only exception here is that some of Emirates cabin crew are actually hired by Emirates to do that publicity, so they can actually take videos on board, they can take a lot of pictures in the aircraft, and they don't punish them for that. But if you don't take permission from Emirates and you just start taking pictures on flights or with the uniform, then you might get in trouble for that. This is what I know. But if you just do videos in layovers and but at the same time you don't talk about Emirates, you don't talk about the rules and all of those things that they don't want you to talk about, you will be safe. If you do like me and you come like this to YouTube, to audience, and you start talking about Emirates and the rules and so many things, and you show the contract and you show so many things, then boom, you will be fired immediately. That's against the rules. So don't do like me. If you're a cabin crew, don't share those details because you will be fired. But if you're not a cabin crew, then do whatever you want. And she actually has another question. Do you happen to know someone that also pursuing her degree, being a student? Yes, I actually do know someone doing her PhD, and she is a cabin crew with Emirates, so that is nice. And they actually, as I told you before, I think they paid 40% for her. This is what she told me. I don't know the exact amount of money, but they helped her as well, and she's doing her PhD, so you can do that. If you think you can manage your time, if you think that you can only study in your days off and layovers, so you have to forget about going out and also sightseeing on layovers because you will be busy all the time with your studies, you know. But if you want to finish your studies, then please do it. You don't want to be the lazy cabin crew who's always sleeping in the layover. So I'd say yay, I'm so proud of you already for asking this question. Okay, the third question. Do you have any idea what kind of job that flight attendant would have in Crown, not aviation related, that fit with experience flight attendant have? I will always say receptionist in a 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel. This job is perfect, and what I know is that 90% of the cabin crew that are working with Emirates right now were receptionists here in Algeria in Sheraton Hotel. So they always take you, if you have experience in 5-star hotel as a receptionist, they know that you dealt with a lot of customers from different backgrounds, so that will be a huge plus for you. So I will say always say receptionist in a 5 or 4-star hotel is really good when you apply. When it's in your CV, that will always give you like an extra point the moment they see your CV. Okay, I'm sorry for the spelling and grammar error. English is not my first language. Well, it's not mine as well. It's my third language. And recently everyone is just laughing at my English. I really don't care, honestly. Like, you shouldn't care because I understood every single thing you said. So you should be confident with your English. You should be confident with yourself, even though your English is not perfect. Well, no one is perfect. And if someone is laughing at your English, then you just tell them that you speak another language. Try and speak my language. This is what you should answer them immediately. I don't really care. You can laugh as much as you can about my English. I don't really care. You should see me talking Arabic or French. I always just invent my own words and I don't care. Laugh. Really laugh. If that makes you laugh, please laugh. Okay, this one is not a question, but I just want to like say hi. Hi, Rodrigo. This one is like always there. Yes, he just said this and I definitely didn't want to ignore him. Okay, Mindset Queen. Is Emirates pilot who fly this time is only 777? What about pilot of 380? What I know is that some pilots are only trained for 777, some pilots are only trained for 380, and what I know as well is I always ask them that question when I go to the cockpit, like, are you 380, are you 777? And they always say either of those. I never flew with anyone who said that they worked or they're trained for both 777 or 380. They might be trained, a lot of them, but I don't know because the ones I spoke to, they only said one of them. So I think it's completely different training. And yeah, I know it's completely different training, but at the same time, I don't know if you can fly them both. I'm no pilot. And the most important question that I've received so many times in the comment sections from people asking me in DMs, and you are just so smart to ask this question because you notice that I'm good in duty free. Well, I'm not that good, but I'm a little bit good. I made extra money from it, so you want to have some advices. And trust me, even when you ask people on board for advices, I remember myself asking people for advices. I always ask because I like to learn, so I like to ask. Like, I see people good in duty free, so I'm like, teach me, what are you doing exactly? Please teach me how you sell, how you convince them that you sell to them, and but but they never really tell you the secret behind them selling so much on every single flight. They just don't like to tell you, but I will tell you my secret. I'm not a very good seller. I was never ranked the first seller with Emirates, never. But I made some money for myself and I made money for the company as well because I sold their items. For this, because it's Shirley, please do video about duty free. Thanks, you're welcome. Doll, you're always there. And Kashmira Darwala. Hey, love your videos. Can you please explain more about duty free in flight? How to make more money with it? Did I get your voice? I'm trying to get your voice. So, hi Kashmira. Yes, I will explain to you how I usually do it and how I started doing it as well, and when you're supposed to start doing duty free. So guys, when you do your training, they will train you to do duty free as well. So that machine, they will train you how to do with it and how to swipe the card, and it's never efficient. When I did the training, I tried there, of course, and it looked easy, but then the first time I tried to do duty free, I didn't know how to do anything. Like, I tried to swipe the card, but it didn't work. So what I always say is, when you start flying, even when you are in your probation, monitor the other cabin crew who are doing duty free, because you will learn just by monitoring them. But if you ask them, they will be like, yeah, you will learn, yeah, you will have your time, yeah. But ask them. Some of them, of course, are very helpful, but most of them are not helpful, and they will say, well, yeah, they will start selling, so they will start earning money, and then, well, they tend to be greedy. But at the same time, you will not be doing duty free for 6 months. You will not even have the pouch, because they will give you a red pouch, and then they will give you 500 dirham in it, and that money should always be there because it will be your change. It's not 500 dirham is like one piece, but it's like, divided like big bills and small bills and coins, so you can return money to the customers, of course. You have 6 months, you can do duty free, so I say learn duty free in those 6 months. Please monitor the others and learn from them. Now I will tell you about myself, how I used to do duty free. There are some things that are really important. Do some background check on every single flight. I used to ask cabin crew about the customers, what they usually want, things that cabin crew sell the most on every single flight. You ask in the cabin crew groups, you ask people, random cabin crew whenever you meet them. It's okay to just throw that question at them and you learn what customers want on every single flight. And then another important thing as well is you set up your cart, because you have a cart that you have to set up perfectly, but set up the cart differently on every single flight and depending on the customer's profile. What are the things that are going to interest those customers? For example, on China flight, jewelry. They love bling bling. So you need to put bling 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 all over the cart. So they see it and they're like, and be patient with them. If you're not patient with them and you just walk with the cart running, no one will buy from you. If you're just taking your time, duty free, with a huge smile, you see someone like looking at the cart with bling bling bling, you stop. How can I help you? Oh, do you want to see this? Oh, do you want to see this? Oh, you just keep on talking to them like this. They will like you, they will like your personality, and then they will buy from you. As I told you, it depends on the customer's profile. For example, Africa flight, I know that they like to buy those jewelries, but then with the pearls, like green, big, also gold, something like it looks like gold, they love that, so put that in the cart. On European flight, they always like to buy perfumes, and those tiny jewelries that are classic and classy, they like to buy that, so put that in the top of the cart. I will try and look for a picture for you guys to see how we set up the cart. I will try and do that. But this is it. It's very, very easy, but there are some things as well that might cause you problems when you do duty free, because when the customers pay with card, then you have to be careful. You cannot exceed 3,000 dirham. So if one customer buy a lot from you, and he wants to pay by card over 3,000 dirham, then you have to tell him that he has to divide it into two. One, he pays 3,000 with the card, and the rest he needs to pay it with cash. If he doesn't have cash, then you tell him no. Do you know why? Because if you proceed with the payment of all of those items, for example, 11,000 dirham, then do you know what will happen? They will deduct from your salary 8,000 dirham, which is the difference between 11,000 and 3,000. So you have to be really, really careful. And I know, oh my God, you can't imagine how many cabin crew I know, they deducted money from them. And that includes me as well. They deducted from me like one time 500 dirham, one time 300 dirham, but it was not a problem with the card, but it was me who counted wrong and I sold so much. So obviously I did mistake, and obviously it was a busy flight. So whatever they deducted from me, it was my mistake. But some people, they just deduct from them because the card issues, the card was declined and they didn't know that it was declined. So you have to be careful as well when you do duty free. It's not all money. If you do a small tiny mistake, they will deduct all of it from your salary. And how much money you will be earning when you do duty free, it's 10% per each item. So if you sell a watch that's 1,000 dirham, you will be earning 100 dirham in your pocket. And this is why I told you, you will be earning so much money if you really know how to sell, especially on African flights like Luanda flight, like Abuja flight, Guangzhou flight. But what I know as well from Guangzhou flight is I don't really sell that much. But then a Chinese colleague with me will sell so much because it's a language barrier. So I didn't learn some words, but then I think I learned some things. I don't know how to have a conversation with them, but I don't know how, with body language and everything. And eventually I started selling on Guangzhou flight because I learned how to convince them. So as I told you, it depends on the customer's profile. You will be selling so much and you will be earning so much money. Always, I prefer if you always take cash, better than card. Card is easier. You don't have to deposit that paper and the receipts to the cashier when we arrive. But if it's cash, then you have to deposit every single thing and you have to wait and queue and blah, blah, blah. But it's safer. It's always safer if you have the cash and not the card. And also we have like everything in that small ATM there. You can also see the exchange rate if they want to pay with the pounds, if they want to pay with euros, but not every single currency. We don't accept every single currency, and you have mini book that you can check there so you don't make mistakes. But I think with time you don't check anything. It's like it just becomes so easy. I remember I'm like so easy, but as I told you, if it's a busy flight you will make mistakes and then they will deduct money from your salary, and you don't want that. And another thing that I wanted to highlight here about duty free, you always have to count in the beginning of the flight because it's positions. So if they give you duty free position, you can swap it with your colleague if you don't want it. But if you always want it, then you have to request it, and it depends if your colleagues want to give you that position or not. And here, when you arrive on board, you have to count your items, every single item that you have. So you have a big cart here with 8 drawers, and then you have 4 drawers as well, full of items. You have to check all of those items and count them, because if after they discover that there is a minus or there is one missing item, then they will deduct it from your salary. And I told you, I heard so many people, cabin crew, complaining that they deducted items from their carts because they miscounted or they didn't count at all, because they just, like, well, whatever, I will not count. And that is me as well. I was so lucky that, that never happened to me, but like 90% of the time I don't count my items because I'm like, who will steal things? No one will, but people do steal things. Even cabin crew, or I don't know who, but they do steal things, unfortunately. So you have to count your things. You don't want them to deduct money. You're doing duty free to make more money, not for them to deduct money. So you have to be careful, okay? And I think I told you every single thing I know about duty free. It's very easy with time. It actually makes you happy, because it used to make me happy, because I don't want to sit in the galley just bored like that, sitting, doing nothing, eating and gaining more weight. I don't want to gain more weight. So I just go to the cabin and I do duty free. I make money, I chit chat with customers, and sometimes I stay in contact with customers because I was chit chatting so much. So why not? You will earn money, you will earn friends, and you will also make the company earn money. So they will always like you. And this will be the end of the video. I didn't want to share a story because I think the video is too long. So if you're new with us, subscribe to my channel. If you like duty free and you want to do duty free, and also if you used to do duty free, tell us down there. Help them. You like to help, so help them, please. So if you're new with us, subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, share the video if you like it. See you on the other videos, and bye bye.